scene opens as Edwin is making his final approach up to the gate of the Black Rose Funeral Home. He pauses momentarily. Chokes back, a lump in his throat, a shake in his hand, and the slightest welling of a tear in one of his eyes as his mind goes back to where that body is. He can see it just as clear as when it first happened, just as clear as when he first placed it. Aside from the same dark thought that continues to reverberate in his head. What if he deserved it? A second thought seems to be wrestling with the first. Also, sounds and echoes. Is he going to be missed? He tries to focus, remembering back to a little bit more than a year ago. The last time that life was normal. As he takes a deep breath, he opens the gate, entering the landscape that is the area around the funeral home. Closes the gate behind him and continues towards the door. And that is where the scene will fully open as he takes in this, well, to him, a relatively new landscape.
So, as Edwin himself, he walks through the gate of the funeral home, looking about. It's a short path between the gate and the door. It's in a city. There's not much room to spread out for gardens and stuff, but you can tell someone has tried. They've really tried to make things nice, and it does. It looks pretty nice from outside. As you gaze up to the front of the building, you can quite clearly tell it's an old building. It's been here a long time. Its brickwork is slightly, chipped, slightly molding, slightly old. It almost gives it that sense of character to the building. Our gaze drifts again back to this front door. It's nice. It's just an ordinary front door, but the stained glass, you can see shadows moving from behind it. Obviously, there's people inside. The lights are on, and people are walking around. Just that one last look before fully stepping onto the porch. You see big, fancy writing, the Black Rose Funeral Home. Paired behind it with a large black rose that seems to be on a shield. There you have it.
As his hand kind of goes up to the rose itself and the plaque on the doorway. And then, without a second thought or hesitation,
and it takes a few minutes, a few seconds even, as you see some of the shadows, they kind of move out from the door, and it slowly opens, and there you see it's not the man you met in court a while back. It's someone else. He's quite tall, about the same height as you. I don't know, actually, about 6 foot. He's
okay. So I'm looking up a little bit because Edwin is 5'8".
Oh, there you go. So he's about 6 foot tall, about the same size as the guy you did meet in court, Victor. But he looks much older, like very gaunt face. It's almost skeletal. He's like seedy green eyes, and he's wearing a full blue suit with a kind of very smart tie. And he just looks down to you and kind of raises an eyebrow.
I I I have business with Mr. Caufinn. I didn't have time to make an appointment, unfortunately.
He kind of does that grumbling sound for a minute, looks over his shoulders. I don't know, you can kind of peer underneath one of his arms as he's holding the door that there's a woman on the desk. Looks to be a secretary. She starts writing something down and walks off. And he just holds you there for a minute, just kind of looking you up and down.
Edwin looks back up at the man and fights back a little bit of a shiver, trying to play it off like it's a little bit cold, even with his hooded sweatshirt and his hood pulled up. I'm gonna make a quick manipulation subterfuge roll, because why not? I don't get to do this that often. Okay.
Yeah, that's the man.
There's a little bit more to it than just the cold.
As the man, he kind of looks you up and down. I mean, to you, he doesn't look too interested, really, but he's just kind of doing it all out of service. And you see, he kind of takes a little bit of a step back, still holding onto the door, and just turns very, almost like soldier-like, just sideways, just to let you, give you room to walk in.
And Edwin will walk in. Just inside the door so that it can be closed again. And then to the side. Not mechanically at all, just kind of, fluidly, naturally, efficiently.
And as you do, the man closes the door and gives another look at you, and then turns off and walks down the hallway behind the secretary desk, and you hear as he turns left down another hallway, obviously you presume. You hear a door open and close. It takes a good couple seconds as you're kind of stood in this entry point. I mean, it looks kind of old, but it looks refurbished in here. It looks quite nice. How you'd expect a fairly nice funeral home to look. It's got a bit of a waiting area down, a secretary, and a few books and things that you can look around, and some really nice paintings. Some old school kind of almost Victorian style paintings around, and mirrors and a desk, and just odd little knickknacks and stuff that you can look at. As suddenly a woman walks around, the woman that you saw on the secretary desk, she comes back around the corner and she comes up to you and like, Mr. Caufinn will see you now, just down the hallway to your left. You can't miss it.
Thank you. And he he nervously shuffles down the hallway, trying to straighten up his posture a little bit. He pauses a moment and tries to take a natural breath in and release it outward like he remembers. And then he continues with a renewed stride towards the door and opens it.
So, as you walk down this hallway and turn to the left, you see there's two doors facing each other. One has a Mr. Howard Dent's written across it and on the glass pane, and the one opposite it has a Mr. Victor Caufinn. Seeing that, you obviously know which one you're supposed to go to, and so you open the door. Inside, however, you see it's... you slowly close the door behind you. In here, again, it's looks a little dated. I mean, the high ceilings and some long wooden beams going across. In here, you can see there's a few knickknacks and things, again, on a few shelves. But some of the things that stand out to you mainly is a large white grand piano that's kind of in one of the corners. It's very nice. It looks something just out of a kind of like an opera style would play. Like huge piano. In the middle, at the back, is a large like mahogany desk, and lots of like little globes and books stacked up and lots of different things. A large leather chair that seemingly turns to the back of you, so you can't see who's sat in it. I mean, you can see the elbow stuck out the side, so you assume that's Victor. The back wall is the whole entire back wall up until where the roof starts to pin it inwards. It's like one huge bookcase, absolutely full of books. Like you see big books, small books, like leather, lots of leather bindings and things like that. But in the middle, kind of about cut out in the middle, is a large white coffin with a black rose painted on the front of it. And as the latch slowly catches on the door behind you, you see the leather chair. It slowly spins around, and you see the man you did meet in court, Victor Caufinn, sat in the chair. He kind of, as he turns around, he smiles and kind of looks worriedly down at his desk, seeing lots of open books, and just starts closing them one by one. Mr. Matthias, I believe. Mr. Matthias. Welcome to the Black Rose.
It's astounding in here. As is the is the key cover on the piano up or down?
It is up.
As Edwin, just kind of, he takes another look at Victor. It's been a while since he's met him. He makes his way over to the piano, and he just kind of lets, a couple of his fingers just kind of hover above the keys, barely touching them. Well, I guess it's probably kind of obvious why I'm. I mean, I don't. No, it's stupid. It's not obvious why I'm here.
Please, Mr. Matthias, please do take a seat. As he kind of gestures to one of the seats in front of the desk. You see, there's 3 seats laid out in a circular formation. Pick whichever one. As you can see him, he's putting things back in his desk.
He hesitates a little bit and then lets his left hand graze over a couple keys. And he just kind of, skipping one key each time, he presses 1, 2, 3, and then heads over and takes a seat. I had a little bit of an incident.
Okay.
Somebody died.
You see his face, when you mention this, he kind of looks almost sorrowful and clasps his hands together and puts them on the desk, leaning forward slightly. It's okay, my friend. It's okay. I completely understand. These things happen with our condition, with the way we are, of course. Just be thankful that you've come to me, and I shall have this little problem sorted.
Oh. I wish I hadn't been so careless. I should have fed more regularly. Oh well.
Now, Mr. Matthias, please listen to the words. Do not blame yourself for this. It is not your control. The beast is quite a hard one to tame. And he says that you can tell he's kind of, by just the ring of that sentence, he's said that a few times. It's like a spiel he's kind of come together to say to comfort people, as he spins a chair around and pulls out one of the books very carefully and flips it over.
I didn't get released until I understood that all too well. It's a constant struggle, but
Oh,
at least the body is not out in the open, nor is it in a dumpster. I
Mr. Matthias,
managed.
please. We will get to these things. Let me. Of course, I have to follow procedure. As you see, in the book, is actually you can tell that it's like kind of an encyclopedia, but inside the pages they're loose, and he just pulls one out, flips the book, and puts the book back, and clicks a pen. Now, I have to go through a few questions with you so I fully understand the situation at hand. So the first of all, which did you, of course, lay this man to rest yourself?
Yes.
You see, he ticks a box. Were you seen?
Edwin takes a moment to think about that. No.
Are you 100% sure on that one?
It was late at night, in the Southland area of the Blade. People tend to stay in, mostly, which makes it difficult to feed. There's a mugger. He was mugging a woman who was probably heading back to her apartment. She didn't see anything. I chased him down for 3 blocks before I caught him, and he just kind of trails off and just kind of lets his eyes glaze up to like the corner of the room as he seems to be like almost reliving something pleasant, something, I don't know, to be proud of.
And you see, when you give that little thing and start to look up to the room, Victor, you hear the pen strike a few more times as if you just answered a few questions through that way. And he just kind of leans back and looks up to you. So, of course, I hope you know the exact location of where the body has been left.
Well, I took care of any visible wounds, and after some doing, I managed to drag it down into the sewers. I'd say roughly about 10 yards from the access ladder, leaning against the wall in a corner.
Well, I will say one thing, Mr. Matthias. Congratulations on making this far easier on me. Trust me, I've had some odd things to deal with these nights. As he begins to write something down on this sheet of paper.
I God.
No, let's see. Of course. Now, as seeing I am doing this for you, of course there will be some form of payment required.
Well, taking care of the body taking care of the body so it's not found. That's one thing. I mean, I'm willing to go out on a limb here. I'm pretty sure that this isn't, and I think I understand this correctly. When Daisy, she kind of mentioned this a little bit, not much, but it's not that much of an inconvenience because you have the equipment and the vehicles and the help. So I'm willing to owe you a minor boon, but I want something specific.
Of course.
When the body is brought back here, I don't know if he had a wallet or anything, but if you can, I would like the body cremated And any personal effects, I would like to have that locked in the urn. I think they lock, right?
They do.
And I would like the urn so that I can make the final, take care of the final
Of course, yes.
preparations.
Of course, of course. Now, I will be willing to accept this minor boon, but the specificalities, of course, I can accept as well. I am a fair man, Mr. Matthias. You will learn this by spending time with me, of course. As he says that, you can see he kind of looks to the door quite sharply. Like he just stares at it for a minute and looks back. Yes, quite the fair man. But consider this, the minor boon for taking care of the body, that is done and done. But this little sidetrack, I will do this for you, of course, because it is of your request, and of course I have still provided the final rites for these unfortunates, but you must send a message for me.
All right.
To one of the higher-ups in your clan, that I'm looking for one of them. Any of them in particular, any that know the woods rather well. If you get this message to me, I see no reason we should fall out about this, because this is, well, quite a delicate situation, of course. Do you accept this small little term?
The woods. Whew. I haven't. Why would you want to go into the? Well, I mean, you know the woods have been a pretty dangerous place to go anywhere in at any point for some time now.
Mr. Matthias, of course, I have heard these warnings, and I thank you for giving them to me. However, I must reiterate, this is quite... Well, it is of great interest to me to be in those woods, and trust me, there are very few things that I fear after, fighting in a war against kindred. I've seen quite the few things.
Fair enough.
Of course, and as you say that, he puts his hand on the paper and spins it round and hands you the pen. And as you can see on the piece of paper, it looks like a bit of a questionnaire, and he's filled out a few things and put a few details on it. It looks like a contract, actually, like very professionally done. I mean, if you look at it and read it, it looks like an actual contract. But you can tell its true nature is quite hidden. It looks more of a funeral contract. And you can see the dotted line where he's obviously pointing towards you to sign, saying that you agree to these terms.
Edwin, he'll take the pen, but he will take his time to very carefully read through. How big is the contract for one?
It's not. It's like just an A4 page. It's just one singular page, just going through like what you've just said. Like, yes, you know where the body is. Yes, it's here, 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 here. They died at this place. It's like saying exactly what you just said, but hidden almost, like kind of the words twisted. So it's like he died at so and so at this time. He was brought here at so and so time, and
one page front and back.
Yeah.
Okay. He'll take his time to read through the contract carefully so that he understands what he's signing, which might strike Victor odd, because not many people do that.
Oh, he seems quite happy, actually. If you look up at him, he's smiling that you are actually reading this.
Yeah, I can get a hold of someone. I don't know if I can find coal or anything, or...
But as long as the message is sent, that is all that I ask of you, Mr. Matthias. That will suffice, of course, and the minor boon. And I shall see that you have your, well, Your wish is granted, of course.
Would if like let's say I tell someone, right, like I'm going to, and they agree to take you out on a little guided tour. No, no boons, no payment, no nothing. Just a little favor. Do you think it would be okay if I came along, see if what I could learn? See how things are done with, in our little society thing about weird happenings.
You see, when you say that, he kind of rustles his bit of a beard slightly. It's not much, it's just a bit of a scruff. And he looks up and down. I cannot say for sure, Mr. Matthias, as I do not know you as well, as much as I do, and the fact that I am merely the messenger, not the actual leader of this small excavation, but I'll be sure to keep it in mind when the time comes.
Yeah. I don't know, I guess all of us have to find a way to be useful, and I don't know. I don't feel that I've been useful at all. I don't know if you've heard about Tootie's recent rabid pile of crap that we were involved in.
Oh?
Yeah, I empathize with him. Because I remember being that scared when I was, new, right? And Daisy did a good job. The first, up until this point, I had never killed anyone in my whole life. Not even the first night. And when, I don't know, English, Australian, whatever he was, fucking asshole is what he was. I mean, pardon my language, but he's an asshole. I could big talking, just threatening this kindred. This new kindred. He didn't know shit. Didn't understand what he was, and they were saying, no, he's Sabat, let's kill him, or whatever. And
I understand how this can be awkward situation, especially for a mindset that is, well, like yours at this current time. But the way you must think of it is, if this person was a new kindred and they were not presented to the court or with their sire at the time, it is more than likely an illegal embrace, Mr. Matthias.
But I mean, it's not his fault. He doesn't deserve to be punished for it. Find the one who made him, right? Find his sire. Punish him. But, the odd thing about that whole thing is when he mentioned where he was from, everyone got, pretty nervous. I'd not seen that level of nervousness.
Where did he say he was from?
Up around Portland, Maine.
And actually, when you do say Portland, Maine, it's not the same. Might not be the same nervousness as you say. It's more he just His eyes widen slightly and he raises his eyebrows. Hmm. Well, of course, it's quite the rough place, things and such. Mr. Matthias, I advise you on this small little endeavor to forget as much as you can about that little escapade, and more focus on what lies ahead. Of course, you're building up yourself or looking to be useful. Find what you do well and stick to it.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, I still got 4 clients on the back burner I need to do work for.
Now, if you would...
Oh, well. I don't know. I just... Like I said, I mean, as far as, like, this whole undead hoodoo voodoo thing that I'm now in... God, I can't believe I just said that. I don't know. I don't want to, like, intrude or see anything I shouldn't. It's just, I don't know. I think I could be useful, and if I'm going along with maybe Daisy, I'd feel more comfortable knowing, that nothing happened to her.
Of course, I completely understand.
So, and if I learned something, well, I mean, but yeah, I would advise. Okay, so the location, the alley's a dead end, and he gives you he writes down on a separate piece of paper the street, the cross street, and roughly it's a very close approximation from the corner, and he slides that over to you, and then he finally signs the contract, dates it. I would advise going there typically between 11:50 and 12:45. It's usually pretty quiet around that area. Not too much traffic.
See, he slides a piece of paper and actually takes the contract you signed and just puts it in front of him, spins him around, and pulls out quite a very ornate silver pocket watch and just holds it in his hand and flicks it open, checking the time. Do not worry, Mr. Matthias. I'm a professional.
Just little extra. But yeah, so and he gets up from the chair. He walks back over to the piano, letting his fingers graze along it. Never have much had the musical talent. He just admires it for a moment. It's a beautiful instrument. Oh well. And when he gets back to where the keys are, he very carefully closes the key cover without letting it so much as make a sound against the bottom. Oh, I better get out of here and let you get to your business. Thanks a lot, though.
Please, it is my pleasure, of course, Mr. Matthias. Feel free to stop by any time. My doors are always open to those of us who are more akin to nightlife.
You're, oh, you're Tremere, I think you
Yes.
said?
Victor Caufinn of Clan Tremere, child of Hermes Silversmith. If you must know, of course.
No. No. It's a good to know. Good to know. Um, yeah. Well, um, yeah. Uh, well, once it's taken care of, I mean, you know, um, anything you need, I'll I'll get a hold of uh, I'll get a hold of Miss Goodchild, and I'll let her know about the boon I owe you. I'll take care of that.
Of course,
And
of course.
Edwin, he walks back toward the door and opens or turns the knob, walks out, and there's just the slightest sound when he closes it. As he, following that, heads back down the hallway towards the primary door of the funeral home, and leaving Victor in his office with his thoughts.
As Victor sees the man walking out, shuts his eyes on that chair as he spins it around to face the white coffin, closes his eyes and just listens for that second latch to go, and smiles. He pulls down that book and flicks it open to the same page. Places the contract that has just been signed inside. There's a few more in there as well. And just shuts it very slowly. As he puts it back very gingerly and just traces his fingers down the back of the spine. It seems my plan is coming into effect after all.